Mwansamumba David, former Council Secretary for KANCHIBIYA Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Anna Kamayoyo. I'm the Senior Procurement Officer for KANCHIBIYA Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Lloyd Solam Hoji. I'm the Internal Auditor for KANCHIBIYA Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chanda Augustine, Director of Planning.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorables and everyone. Nyon Morgan is my name, Assistant Director Engineer, KANCHIBIYA Town Council.
Thank you. Permanent witnesses.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon to you and the Honorable Committee. Good afternoon, KANCHIBIYA Council. My name is Makro Maki. I'm the Acting Director from Chinga Province.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. Good afternoon, KANCHIBIYA Town Council. Good afternoon, our fellow permanent witnesses. My name is Akipson Mulenda, Acting Assistant Director from Chinga Province.
Good afternoon, I'm Luinda
Mr.
Sinyani.
Mulenda, your mic should be off after.
Good afternoon, I'm Luinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Directorate in the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good afternoon to you and the honorable members of your committee. KANCHIBIYA Town Council, you're welcome to this session. Kazinga Kennedy from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Beatrice Kamangala, Human Resource Management Officer from Local Government Service Commission.
Clerk's office.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Keke Makua from Office of the Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Namwenga Smaloli from the Office of the Clerk.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members, and good afternoon, permanent witnesses, KANCHIBIYA Council. You're most welcome. My name is Manama Mape. I'm in the Office of the Clerk. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon. Emmanuel Walia from the Office of the Clerk.
Honorable member for Honorable Paviuma.
Thank you, Chair. KANCHIBIYA Town Council. Good afternoon and welcome to the Committee on Local Government Accounts. Honorable Paviuma is my name. I represent a group of Saketa constituency in the Copper Belt.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, and good afternoon, my honorable colleagues, our permanent witnesses and secretariat. KANCHIBIYA Council, good afternoon, and welcome to your committee. My name is Elliot Kamondo, a member of Parliament from Fumba constituency.
Thank you, Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, KANCHIBIYA. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in the District of the Eastern Province. You're welcome to your committee. Thank you.
Mangango.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, our permanent witnesses. KANCHIBIYA Town Council. Good afternoon to you too. Our viewers and the listeners. Good afternoon to you as well. You are most welcome to the afternoon session of your local government accounts committee. Chair, most of the people say, especially councils, some of them still make a mistake that they are going to pack. This is not the public accounts committee. Just a point of correction to most of those that make such mistakes. This is local government accounts committee. LAC. So may we please take note of that. It's not PAC, it is the local government accounts committee. LAC, which deals with the local councils or local government authorities. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. KANCHIBIYA, my name is Munda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavunga constituency. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you.
What do you want to say? Vice Chair.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon to our permanent witnesses. Welcome to Mandeville constituency, KANCHIBIYA Town Council. My name is Christopher Shakafuswa. I represent the good people of Mandeville. Honorable Mwene, good afternoon. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chairperson and members of the committee. KANCHIBIYA Council, once again, welcome. My name is Mishek Mtetwa Nyambose. I represent the good people of Tasefu constituency in Eastern Province of Zambia, and I'm privileged to chair your committee. With that said, we would like to ask you to make your presentation. As a matter of guidance, you just read the title of the query, then you go to management response. That brings out the cause of query. Then in that order, remedial measures and the action taken in that order.
Thank you so much, Chair. With your indulgence, Chair, I'd like to make to bring up some additional information in my report.
Bring as many.
Yes.
Even ask your members if they still keep in their pockets. Bring.
Thank you so much.
We
Chair.
admit.
Thank you so much, Chair. The first one is that I would like to withdraw Appendix 1B from the report, which is a letter dated 6th August. Appendix 1B.
The conveyance.
Yes, Chair, I would like to withdraw that one. Appendix 1B, which is a letter dated 6th August 2024. I would also, may I proceed, Chair?
Oh, 1B, 1B. Just a minute.
Is this one. 1B is minutes of the procurement committee, which is a letter dated 6th August. Yes.
You're talking of minutes.
I see the letter. Also.
Yes.
It's minutes, Chair, it's not a letter, it's minutes of the procurement committee dated 6th August 2024. That one is withdrawn. Yes, only the minutes.
What is wrong? What else? Nothing? You can take us through now.
Number 2, Chair, I'm still, Chair, with the indulgence, you allowed me to bring as many corrections as possible, but I'll be very quick. Number 2, I would like to withdraw the letter 2A and replace it. Letter of extension 2A, appendix 2A is replaced.
I would replace it from campus. So all these 2 letters are withdrawn.
The first one is minutes, Chair.
2A. Let me check. me two letters from Arrow Tech. 10th December 2023. The other one 31st July 2023. You've prepared the different one. I think as a matter of guidance, what should be submitted or amended is something that if you are trying to amend almost the whole report, it's better you withdraw the report and come back later. You will seek for another day, because now what you are trying to amend is actually so extensive to a point where we shall lose track. Because, for instance, when we are going through, we make markings and references to the same letters. Now, your amendment, what is of tradition is you should bring submissions that but if you're almost changing the whole report, then we have a problem. Because you are the ones who did these reports, and letters were done. If you are withdrawing a letter from a company that you contracted, what has changed? Because we referred to it and the company wrote it. So they have written a new one to change from.
With your guidance, Chair, thank you for the guidance. We are not actually changing, we are just replacing the letter, because the first letter was not properly done by the contractor. So we are replacing that letter.
So just from that score, a contractor does the letter, as we have not seen anything wrong. So the contractor writes backdating the same 2023. How possible is it? A letter was done, it's been sitting on your file. Then he replaces it. He does another one. What happened? You had another meeting with the contractor. We thought you were giving us evidence that he gave you. This evidence was sitting on your file. So if he's doing different letters to answer, what we have been guiding Mr. Zoro, we have been guiding officers that what you are doing has nothing to do with your credibility in the management of CDF. These issues that have been raised, whatever you can say about them now, the damage was done during the time that you are failing to implement this. So we can withdraw, start doing letters, we ask you to do another letter. It doesn't change anything. And this is the perception that is created, that when you come here, you do a report. The issues are, did you administer CDF properly? And you gave us letters, especially when they are coming from the company. Minutes that are done by the CDF committee, you are withdrawing them, replacing them with what? The minutes are your record. You are just fishing them out and giving us. Why do you want to change minutes? Did you have another meeting for 2023? And CDF committees have changed. So that attempt is not going to be allowed. So take us through, we shall question you and you should be answering the way questions will come.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe I may be allowed to present additional information, not replacement, but additional information.
Yes, circulate additional, any addendum, any additional information, circulate. So, not Mama with the drive, I think we are diluting the essence of this committee, as we are just following what the auditors did, and you have given us letters that were done.
Thank you, Chair. So the first additional information is CDF minutes that are supposed to be Appendix 13A to C, between 13A and C. Then the second correction, the second addition, is the letter of approval for skills development, which is 25B.
Are they part of those documents?
Yes, Chair.
Take us through your report. We shall be referring to them.
Thank you so much, Chair. My report, Chair, is in two parts. The main queries and those cross-cutting issues, the appendices. The first cause of query, Chair, is on copper market, and management acknowledges observation of the auditor. Sorry, the cause of query is poor workmanship at copper market. Management response: management acknowledges observation of the auditor and wishes to state query occurred because of poor curing of the floor, section of the plastered wall, and stand. Action taken: management wishes to report that the contractor for the construction of copper market was the contract was completed, but later given to another contractor because of non-responsiveness of the first contractor to address the issues of cracks as raised by management. The balance, Chair, of 19,490 was used to award the contract to another contractor to work on the defects. Further, the market was officially opened and is operational, and to that effect, Chair, we have attached appendices 1A to 1E, which is an approval letter, minutes of the procurement committee, the advert for the second contractor, signed contracts, completion certificate, site instructions, pictorial evidence, payment vouchers, and bank statement, which is in volume 1 booklet. The remedial, Chair: management to ensure that projects are commissioned and operationalized as soon as they are completed. The second cause of query, Chair, is incomplete works, construction of 1x2 classroom block at Tundua Primary School. Cause of query: management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to explain that the defects concerning the window pegs were as the result of vandalism. Shelves and the ceiling board were noted not to have been fixed, and the contractor was engaged but failed to fix them despite the materials being on site. The contractor had deserted the construction site. Action taken: management terminated the contract and another contractor was engaged to execute the works. The 5 window pegs spares that were broken were replaced. The shelves and ceiling board have been fitted. In terms of electrification, it was scoped that by the time the project was to be completed, RIA would have serviced the area. However, since the area was not serviced, the contractor was then instructed to install solar, and he has since installed a solar system. Appendix 2A to 2G, which is extension of time, management response, site instructions, final warning, termination letters, minutes of procurement committee, request for quotation, and the new contracts, pictorial evidence, completion certificate, payment voucher, and bank statements. Then volume 1 of the evidence. Remedial measures: management to ensure that contractors fulfill all aspects of the contract within the stipulated period. C. Construction of 1x2 classroom block at Moronga Primary School. Cause of query: management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to state that the outstanding works were as a result of the contractor deserting the project because of difficulties in accessing the site during the rainy season arising from floods. The contractor proposed termination of his contract. See Appendix 3A. The notice of contract termination is available for your reference. Action taken: the contract was terminated and awarded to another contractor for completion of the outstanding works. The outstanding works have since been completed. See Appendix 3B to 3F, the termination letter, minutes of the procurement, advert, and awarded contracts. Also, there's inspection report, pictorial evidence, substantial completion certificate, payment vouchers, and bank statement, which are in volume 2 of the booklet. Remedial measures: management to continue to ensure that non-performing contractors are terminated on time. D. Failure to charge liquidated damages. Management response: management acknowledges the observations of the audit and wishes to state that for copper dormitory, the liquidated damages were not charged because the contractor lodged in an application of extension of time because of the bad roads caused by heavy rains. Action taken: extension of time was granted up to 20th April 2024 to complete the works after the rain season. Therefore, no liquidation damages amounting to 24,142 were charged. The dormitory has since been completed and is currently in use. See Appendix 4A to 4E, which is the original contract, application for extension of time, management response, and the completion certificate, pictorial evidence, and payment vouchers. Management remedial measures, management to ensure that contractors fulfill all aspects of the contracts within the stipulated period. Construction of Mulonga Primary School. The liquidated damages chair were not charged because the contractor lodged an application of extension of time due to difficulties in accessing the site. Action taken, management acknowledged the application for extension to suspend works from 7th December 2023 to resume the works after the rain season and conclude by July 2024. Management will ensure that contractors fulfill all aspects of the contract within the stipulated period. Then the maternity annex. The liquidated damages were not charged because the contractor lodged in an application of extension of time because of rainy season. The contractor could not effectively execute the remaining works, such as painting and aprons, due to excessive rains. The extension of time was granted. The completion period after the extension of time was 29th March 2024. Hence, no liquidation damages amounting to 17,663 were charged. The maternity annex has since been completed and is currently in use. See Appendix 6A to D, which are the original contract, application for extension, management response, completion certificate, and payment voucher. Management to ensure that contractors fulfill all aspects of the contract within the stipulated period. I go to appendices. 1. Management response on the query of failure to spend. Management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to explain that the retained funds are a result of 936,751.08 and 115,681 withheld at source for the construction of Chief's Palace and insurance of the Constituency Development Fund vehicle, respectively. See Appendix 7. Action taken. Management wishes to state that the construction of the Chief's Palace is in progress in Copper Chiefdom for Senior Chief Copper. The palace is now at 65%. Provided is the pictorial inspection report for your attention, which is Appendix 8. Remedial measures. Management to continue to oversee the construction of the Chief's Palace in coordination with the Provincial Engineering Department. Next chair is the Appendix 1.1, which is talking about the retained funds, which I have earlier alluded to. Cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to explain that the funds amounting to 936,751 were retained at source by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development for the construction of the Chief's Palace. Management wishes to state that the construction of the Chief's Palace has commenced in Copper Chiefdom for Senior Chief Copper. Management has since monitored, inspected the progress. See Appendix 9, which is referred to 8, which is a pictorial inspection report. Management wishes to remedial management will continue to oversee the construction of the Chief's Palace in coordination with the Provincial Department, Engineering Department. Appendix 2, Chair. Total unspent funds. Management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to explain that the query was as a result of corrected unspent funds of 13,572,774, which is see Appendix 10, which is a bank statement as shown in the table. So the table there, Chair, is showing the total unspent fund And the other table is showing the breakdown of these funds. We've got one community projects which had 8,546,000 funds were committed to ongoing projects. Then we have got loans, which was 275,772. This one was waiting for the accumulation, for the funds to accumulate according to the applications that were pending. Skills development, 4,751,733. Funds were paid gradually as students reported and demand notices were issued by schools. The administration component share, at this point, there was nothing that was unspent. Management has since spent 13,559,94.90 on community projects and loans. The table here shows the breakdown of this expenditure, which is community projects, 8 million. The balance as at 31st December was 8,545,268.48, and what has been spent is 8,031,589, and the balance is 513,679. Under grants, everything has been spent. Under loans, everything has been spent. Under skills, everything has been spent. Under administrative component, everything has been spent. The balance share of 513,679 is retained on community projects. Is retention on community projects. Management will endeavor to utilize the funds in stipulated timelines. That's our remedial measure. Appendix 2.1, 2.1, and spends funds on community projects. This is the same query chair from alluding to. And the cause of query is management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to state that the query was as a result of funds that were unspent amounting to 8,545,000, which query chair have already alluded to. Action taken, management wishes to report that an unspent sum of 8.545,268 has since been spent, leaving a balance of 513 as retention on community projects. See Appendix 11A to 11B, which has payment vouchers, ledgers, and bank statement. Remedial measures, management will endeavor to utilize the funds in the stipulated timelines. 2.3, 2.2, and 2.3 chair, and spent funds on empowerment. Cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to state that the query was as a result of spent funds of negative 613.31, the expenditure of 2,762,246 included the balance on the grant component of 2022 amounting to 613, which was spent in 2023. Ledgers and approved list of grant beneficiaries are there, Chair, as Appendix 12A. Management spent the empowerment grant at 100% as shown in the table below. There were no funds under grants as at 31st December 2023, as shown in the table. Remedial measures, management will continue to ensure that grants are disbursed according to CDF guidelines. Secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to state that the query was caused by the low numbers of applications received under the secondary and skills development bursaries component of the Constituency Development Fund, which could not exhaust the component in full. See Appendix 12B, which is a list of applicants and approved list. Action taken, the balance of 4.751,733 has since been spent as follows. Chair, I want to report that the monies, the balance from the skills and boarding was varied to community projects. See Appendix 13A to 13C letter of approval for variation, ledgers, payment vouchers for skills, and payment vouchers for varied projects. And on the additional information here, we have included CDF-C minutes. Remedial measures, management to continue to sensitize the community on the availability of skills and secondary. And spent funds under administration, cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to state that 2,031,706 that was expensed in 2023 included a running balance of 616,760 from 2022, which was expensed in 2023, resulting in a negative 44%. The administrative component was displayed at 100%. There were no unspent funds under administration as at 31st December 2023. See table below. Then the remedial measure, management will continue to be prudent in the management of administrative components in accordance with the CDF guidelines. Appendix 3 is community projects. Work in progress. The cause of query was failure by the contractor to execute the work, citing difficulties in accessing the site. Action taken, management terminated the contract and awarded to another contractor who has executed the works. See the appendices, which are 15A to 15B, which is termination letter, new and old contracts, the inspection report, completion certificate, payment vouchers. Remedial management to ensure that contractors fulfill all aspects of the contract within the stipulated period. The project is complete. That is the status here. Chalabesa Police, failure by the contractor to execute works within the contract period. Contractor was instructed to halt the construction because of the change of the building plan by the Ministry of Home Affairs. The change in the building plan was concluded and the project was complete and operational in Chalabesa. Then we have attached the contract agreement, inspection report, instruction to the contractor, the two building plans, the completion certificate, and the payment vouchers. The status chair, the building is complete and operational. Then under community projects chair, there are 19 projects that were approved, 14 were implemented, 4 were work in progress, which projects are alluded to, and 1 was outstanding. Management acknowledges of the observation of the audit and wishes to state that the 3 out of the 4 projects which were work in progress have been completed. See Appendix 6E, which is a gallery of pictures of completed projects and project status. Then the work in progress, we have chief status, delayed centralized procurement was the cause of the query. Then the construction of the chief status has commenced and monitoring supervision is being undertaken in collaboration with the Provincial Engineering Office. Management will endeavor to engage contractors, especially local ones, on the importance and need of delivering contracts timely. The project share is at 70%. For secondary school, dormitory, the cause of query, chair, inaccessibility of the site due to floods. The project is commissioned and operational.
This is the same copper you talked about.
Yes, this is the same.
Can you skip those you have already presented?
Okay, so these I've already talked about. I'll just go to the outstanding one, chair,
okay,
which is delayed centralized the electrification of Kabinga, Chiefdom, delayed centralized procurement process, action taken, correspondence and physical engagement was made with RIA. I have attached chair correspondence to the Rural Electrification Authority. Management will continue to engage RIA in order to speed up the process. The project is pending. The signing of the memorandum of understanding with the local with RIA has not yet been done. Chair, Appendix 5 is analysis of performance of youth and community, youth, women, and community projects. Management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to state that the allocated and disbursed funds are shown in the table below. See Appendix 222A, which is an extract of financial statements. Action taken, management wishes to state that the empowerment grant was disbursed at 100% to 65 beneficiaries, exhausting the component in full. There was no outstanding balance as at 31st December 2023. Empowerment grant. The table below shows how it was disbursed, and as at 31st December there was no balance. Remedial measures, management to ensure that as many community members as possible benefit from the grant empowerment in order to improve the socio-economic status of the people of KANCHIBIYA. Performance analysis on soft loans. Cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to state that only 54 applications out of the 89 were approved because the loan component was exhausted. Action taken, management expensed the loan allocation of both 2022 and 2023 amounting to 6.162,713 at 100% in 2023 to 54 beneficiaries. The interest that accumulated in the revolving fund account in 2023 amounting to 275,772 was disbursed in 2024 to 5 beneficiaries. See Appendix 23A to 23C, which is the bank statement, extract of financial statement, and we refer to 22A. Then we also have approval letters and list of beneficiaries. Management will continue to manage the loan component according to CDF guidelines. Appendix 9, failure to recover loans. Management acknowledges the observation of the audit and wishes to state that the query occurred as a result of low loan recovery rate. Management carried out monitoring activities on the loan beneficiaries and issued reminders on the loan repayments. Management has since recovered 392,892. See Appendix 22A to 24B, 24A to 24B, which is a bank statement, CDF loan recovery report, monitoring report, notices, correspondence with the traditional leadership. Management to continue to engage institutions like the bank and traditional leadership to supplement our efforts on recovery of loans. Management to also continue to manage the loan component according to CDF guidelines. Secondary and skills bursaries. Cause of query, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to state that the number of applications compared to the approved reported, graduated and dropouts is as shown in the table below. See Appendix 25A, which is an approval letter with a list of beneficiaries. Action taken. Management has continued with the sensitization to increase the number of applications and approvals under the bursaries component. A rise in the number of applications, approvals, and graduations has been observed in the year 2024. The unapproved applications were due to the applicants being above the age of 35. See table and Appendix 25, which has application forms which were not approved, which shows the ages of the people. That is why they were disqualified. Remedial measure, management to continue to sensitize the community on the availability of skills and secondary bursaries. Chair, I submit.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary, for that wonderful presentation. It's now time for points of clarifications. Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. We go to page 1. Page 1, the poor workmanship at copper market. This the contract for page 2, sorry. Yes. Page 2. Yeah. So this contract was a completion. It was to complete copper market, which was awarded at a contract sum of 216,556. Basically, constructing the superstructure. The substructure was already there, and the contract was supposed to end on 22nd December 2022 at a contract sum which is stated. Just want to. So the history is that this contract was the contractor, the first contractor, Shaz Investment, was paid up to 91% by end of 31st December, and the project was complete, but it showed defects. And the second contractor was was contracted to correct the defects. So we go to Appendix 1A. The first evidence of approved the 2022 community projects. I've noticed on page 2 that the approved amount for completion of copper market, which is serial number 7, project serial number 7, is 100,000 kwacha. But the contract, hold on page appendix 1A, appendix 1A, the same main submission. So page number 1, 2,
7 here is procurement of a grader.
3. No.
The second page.
Third page. 1A,
okay.
then third page. 1,
yeah, completion of copper market.
Completion of copper market. What was approved by PLGO was 100,000 kwacha. But you procured this contract at 216,556. What is the explanation for this disparity?
Council Secretary. The approval was 100,000 kwacha, but this project you actually procured it at 216,556. What is the explanation? No problem, Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. The project or the allocated fund for 100,000 was for the substructure at the beginning of the project. The query is on the other contractor for Shaz, who did the finishes for the tables or trading stands, the walls, and the floor. So there are two allocations which were given to this project.
You are confusing us. The scope. Can you give us more information? Can we see the contract documents? Because what we are seeing, what was approved by PLGO, you have submitted yourselves, is 100,000 kwacha for copper. And how do we tell ourselves? Because when we see this one, we relate it to copper, and we have Shaz Investments, who was given a contract for 260,556. How do you reconcile the two figures? Just give us information. If you have a contract, the first contract for 100,000 kwacha, show us. The second contract for Shaz, 216,000. Because for Shaz here, maybe I read the scope here. It says the scope of works included construction of superstructure, trading stands, shuttering, and formwork stands, grill gates, wall and floor finishes, painting concrete ramps on inlet doors, and surface drainage. So this is for Shaz. How about this evidence I've given here? 100,000 kwacha.
Thank you, Chair. That's why I said this project was allocated funds twice. As you see, that Shaz is there to complete the project. They are not the first contractor who did the substructure. So we are here for the query which talks about Shaz, which is to do with the superstructure. Thank you.
So, Doc, okay, your explanation is very good. Now, Shaz, you have given us the The substructure was from 2022. Is that so? And the superstructure is from 2023 CDF? Is that so?
Assistant Director of Engineering, or CS, we shall need your participation.
Chair, let me allow my Director of Finance to come in.
DF, pull it a bit. Okay.
Thank you very much, Chair. The two funding that is being referred to, the first funding was under a grant that was secured in 2022, that was given to the first contractor who did as the parts which the engineering explained.
It was not a CDF?
No, it was not CDF. And then the second part was now what was funded under CDF, the contract given to Shaz.
So the grant was also approved by PROGO?
The grant by then was coming from Ministry of Finance. It was not under CDF, so it did not go through PROGO's office. It was a grant that was sourced by the then member area of Parliament.
Okay, when you look at this schedule, are you seeing the schedule here? On Appendix 1A. When you look at this schedule, Ministry of Local Government and Road Development 2022 community projects, what do you mean? Because it's amongst those community projects under Ministry of Local Government. And the total of the projects, I don't know, you have not put the total. This is a list from DF. Do grants also get clearance from PROGO and the Ministry of Local Government?
No,
that
Chair.
comes from finance?
No, Chair. What I was trying to explain is that the project Copper Market had two fundings.
We agree.
So the funding that came under CDF of 100,000 is the one that went through PROGO's office.
So you received the money from CDF of 100,000? That's what you just stated.
Yes, that's what
That's why we have asked.
Yes, Chair. That's what
But initially you refused.
No, I think I did not explain well. My point was that there were two fundings from the grant under Ministry of Finance and from CDF.
Us, yes. Let's move slowly. We are asking about this 100,000 kwacha. This is under CDF. Are we together, DF? You agree that this 100,000 kwacha is funding from CDF, which we have confirmed also. We have our, is it procurement? Auditor, help us.
Thank you, Chair. I think if you can see the listing there, this was the grant. I think, let me help my DF. The 100,000 was a grant. Then the rest of the money was CDF. Just, I think you can even, but this was just a list that was sent to PROGO for all the projects that were funded under 2022. Thank you, Chair. That's a clarification.
You're really confused us. You've not clarified anything.
Chair, can I help to clarify? So, as area indicated, there were two fundings for this project, and the other money. This was the money that was asked for from PROGO, from the CDF, to add on the funding so that this project is complete.
Which funds are you talking about? How much?
The 100,000 is from CDF.
Oh, now you are. Yeah, because initially you said this was the grant.
Sorry, Chair. Okay, sorry, Chair. Mr. Mansa is the one who was around that time. Let him explain for us.
You are confusing us. The auditor is saying it is a grant, then again CDF, then a grant, then CDF.
Thank you, Chair.
Point of interjection. Guide your witness. They should only speak when
When guided.
When guided.
Okay. Take note. Mr. Mwansa.
Thank you so much, Chair. The 100,000 in this report, as indicated in our report here for 2022 community projects, was meant for CDF. So what was approved, 100,000 here, was CDF for 2022. Then the difference, 116, came from the grant. I submit, Chair.
Do you have any document or record to indicate that? Because you see, when it appears here, sorry to, if there is any money that came from a grant, you should have indicated. But here, the 100,000 kwacha is appearing as the CDF approved by Pirojo and the Ministry of Local Government. Again here, in your report, Copper Market, when you read the 216,000 kwacha, this one, the way you have put the narration, no one can say that there is a grant here, or no one can establish that part of this 216 was a CDF 100,000 kwacha, and the grant of 116, 556. How did you apply for such a grant, that 116,556? Was it a BOQ the ministry was funding? Such a figure, you have experience in the council. When you apply, were you applying with the BOQ that the ministry that granted you the money paid the BOQ? Or it was just, what was the figure that you applied? And any evidence to show that?
Thank you, Chair. I think, as I said earlier on, the first money which is being talked about, the grant, it was given to the council to do the markets in it.
How much was it?
There were 8 markets.
How much? If I didn't say how many, how much was given to you?
Maybe Director of Finance can assist more on that one. Can I continue?
We don't tell us the history, how many markets, which council. We are looking at this report for KANCHIBIYA. We are dealing with these figures here. How much was the grant? And if that grant, the other one says 100,000, the other one says no, it's 116. Now, if it's 116 from your experience, was this a BOQ that was being funded? That Ministry of Finance was paying a grant of 116,556. Those questions, you can answer them yes or no, so that we know you have experience and you are the ones who received the money. All of you. Once I was there, now you have refused. You are not there in 2023.
Chair, the time the grant came, I was not there.
It came in 2023?
In 2022.
Dr. Manza, let's make progress.
So we take it that the 100,000 is the funding from 2022 CDF, right? Okay. So now, if you go to the same appendix, now appendix 1B.
Let's go to
appendix 1B. You advertised. There's an advertisement for the correction of defects, because this first contractor, after he was paid 90% of the funding, he was not interested to come back and rectify the defects. Hence, you advertised to award another contractor. So, if we go to the procurement method on page 1B, which is May 9th, 2024, appendix 1B, it just towards the end. Just towards the end. You are mentioning the KANCHIBIYA Town Council under the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development is seeking eligible and registered bidders, suppliers for correction of defects, construction works at Kapo Market using Constituency Development Fund for 2024. So this project that SHARS did, there was a balance of 19,490. And somewhere in your management response on page 2, you are stating that the balance of, on page 3, you are stating that the balance of 19,490 was used to award a contract to another contractor to work on the defects. But when you advertised to procure a second contractor, you are saying using funding from 2024 CDF. Where did the 19,496 kwacha go that was funded in 2022?
Volunteer.
Thank you, Chair. I think the 2024...
You can try to speak up and the mic should be closer to you. Put it is a flexible one. Okay. Yes, so that you are audible enough.
Chair, the solicitation document that's in the document is actually supposed to read 2023 CDF because the fund that we're using at this point is actually the balance from the contractor that remained the 19,000.
What are you telling us? It is supposed to read what is there?
It's 2024. So
who wrote 2024?
It is actually I, Chair. So the funding.
What? Who wrote this?
The request for quotation was generated by me. So since the request was being done in 2024, I probably had just made a mistake. The funding is coming from 2020.
This is not a mistake, man. Yeah. It's not a mistake.
My apologies for the...
No, this is not a mistake. The other council again, your friends who are there in the morning, they write something, they say, oh, then this is the mistake. Same date, what you are saying. We believe that always when you report for work, you are in a right frame of mind and you know this document and you wait through it as a team. So why should it be a mistake? What is the problem in the council? The problem of trying to fabricate information to suit you are not failing to work. You know you are not doing the right thing. Then you go and sit somewhere for 20, 15 days. You start making reports. This is your own debt. Why are you doing this to KANCHIBIYA and this country?
Thank you so much. We proceed, please. Next question. I ask Honorable Dr. Maza.
Okay, there are two completion projects, two completion certificates. One is a substantial completion certificate, which is on appendix 1C. The client, KANCHIBIYA Town Council, funding Constituency Development Fund, and the contractor is SHARS, construction of Copper Market. In accordance with the conditions of contract for the construction of Copper Market, we hereby certify that above named contractors completed all the works as outlined in the prescribed contract to the satisfaction of the supervising engineer. This is a substantial completion of Copper Market given to SHARS. And the second one is a completion of Copper Market The client, KANCHIBIYA Town Council. Funding, KANCHIBIYA Town Council. Contractor, Chinjonse, General Dealers. Scope of works, correction of defects or something like that. The wording is the same. In accordance with the condition of contract for the construction of copper market, we hereby certify that the above named contractor has completed all the works as outlined in the prescribed contract for the satisfaction of the supervising engineer. Two issues for clarity is the one. I know, of course, the first certificate is a substantial completion. It is not a completion certificate because the contractor did not come back to rectify the defects. So the funding is well stipulated here, Constituency Development Fund. But when we go to the next completion certificate that Chinjonse General Dealers did was the funding is KANCHIBIYA Town Council. Why? Then is this the standard completion certificate? It has no pertinent information. Look, Shaz did a substantial amount of work amounting to 197,066 kwacha for this market. And this second contractor, he did works worth 19,460. So the two certificates, the wording is the same. It doesn't show the value which the contractor achieved on that particular project. How can they even trade with these completion certificates to look for future jobs? Is this the standard way of giving a completion certificate to a project that two contractors have participated and you don't even put the value on the completion certificates? And the last one is you have done, I've seen a picture of the completed. It's good news that the market is operational on Appendix 1E. The market is now operational. So there's a picture, the last picture. Last one, Appendix 1E. The caption is Copper Market, newly constructed borehole at the market. So this picture, you are saying we are showing a newly constructed borehole at the market. Is the borehole constructed inside the market? Because I don't see the hand pump and to show that it's a borehole here. Is it constructed inside the market or not?
Thank you, Doc. These are some of the corrections that I had requested with the indulgence of the chair to make, because at this same market, I know this is outside the query, at this same market, when we were taking these pictures, there was a borehole that was constructed. So this is one of the corrections I made, that copper market commissioning actually is supposed to be commissioning of copper market, not the construction of a borehole. That was another picture. Chair, my apologies.
That's what you do, baby. Nowadays, if you want to get a, maybe you should learn how to apologize, when to apologize. And, there are questions. Answer those two questions. The completion certificates.
Director Engineering.
You are the Director Engineering for KANCHIBIYA.
I'm the Assistant Director Engineer.
Yes, for KANCHIBIYA.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, the question the doctor is asking is to do with the difference in terms of funding. The other one talks about the Constituency Development Fund, and the other one talks about the KANCHIBIYA Town Council. Really, it's an apology. This is an error which
another apology. We are wasting taxpayers' money. If this is the case, we don't need to continue meeting, because we just sent an apology from there. If this is the culture and the work ethics that is obtaining, it's very unfortunate and it's quite disturbing. Quite disturbing. That's why I asked you. You are the director engineering. Because what defines you, director, is this. It's not about your paper that you possess. This is what defines you. Your practical things that you are doing to show the people of Zambia that an engineer in KANCHIBIYA doing the correct things. You do a document, you go through it, you come and say, we apologize, the date is supposed to be 2024. Apologies. Where are we taking this country? Where are we taking KANCHIBIYA? We are just reading your own reports. Council Secretary, when you preside over a management, you call this management. How do you feel? Where do you put yourself? When you sit down alone, you say, I am going for work. I'm the Council Secretary Zulu for KANCHIBIYA. We are having a management meeting. We are monitoring. The President has given us 36.1 million. Is it working very well for the people of KANCHIBIYA? On the ground, and we say CDF is a game changer in KANCHIBIYA. You can't anything. It's like, sorry to use this. I don't want to be crude. Here, you like yourself. Completion certificate. Here, maybe someone is just telling you, maybe your child. Here, why do I put? No, there just say CDF there. Constituency Development Fund. The other one, you just say, okay, there, put KANCHIBIYA Council. And this is normal. Then you come and apologize. We are wasting taxpayers' money. But us, we are doing a good job to expose you. Don't feel unfairly treated. Your reports, you are doing wrong things in KANCHIBIYA. Another question. Honorable Vyoma, then Honorable Mwene. Is the follow-up Mwene? No, it's a different one.
Honorable Chair, so indulgence, I take the committee to page 3.
Let's go to page 3.
Query number B. Complete the construction of a 1x2 classroom block at the Tundwa Primary School. Chair, here on 27th April 2023, the Council engaged Alotech Enterprises Limited to construct a 1x2 classroom block at the Tundwa Primary School at a contract price of 750,000 kwacha with a completion period of 3 months, commencing on 30th April 2023 and ending on 30th July 2023. So there is a list here of the scope of work, which included excavation, earthworks, concrete works, roof covering and spider trusses, carpentry, joinery, and iron mongery, installation of 2 notice boards, 2 pin boards, metalwork, grilled door, windows, glazing, shelves. It is to go on, Chair, as tabulated. So they are saying as at 31st December 2023, the contract had been paid amounts totaling to 485,606, leaving a balance of 264,000. So a physical inspection carried out in March 2024 revealed that the works had been completed. Chair. However, the window peg stays fitted were of poor quality and 5 were broken. In addition, the structure had not been connected to electricity. Shelves had not been fitted to the walls and the ceiling board had not been fitted. See picture below. Chair, here my first question is, KANCHIBIYA, do you have competent engineers? Number 2, a team that conduct monitoring and evaluation is a team of experts. So when they go to site, the write a report that a project is completed, then they indicate that however, things like the shelves, the walls were cracking, they didn't fit the ceiling board. So what kind of completion? Why do you want to paint a picture in KANCHIBIYA that does not exist? Why do you want to blackmail the people of KANCHIBIYA with such a report from trained experts? And third chair, since what you have submitted to this committee is indicating that as at that date when you conducted the physical inspection, the building was not complete, do you wish to withdraw this statement that the building was complete when you conducted a physical inspection? Thank you very much.
Council Secretary.
I will allow Mr. Mansa to come in.
Okay, Mr. Mansa, former Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. It's just a clarity I would love to provide. This report the Honorable is reading is the report from Auditor General. This is what the Auditor General found when they came, not our report. I submit, Chair.
So, how would you, what does it answer when you say that?
According to our Honorable, it was like we indicated that the project was done. It was complete.
Yeah, because the presentation from the Council Secretary area says the project is complete.
Yes, I'm referring you to B. Basically, B is a report which was done by Auditor General. Then, our answer starts from the cause of query, like the Council Secretary read. The action taken is answering to what the Auditor General found when they came. I submit, Chair.
Honorable Yuma.
Chair, on the management response on the cause of query from KANCHIBIYA Town Council, management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to explain that the defects concerning the window pegs were as a result of vandalism. Meaning when they went there, things were not there and you have acknowledged. Then shelves and the ceiling board were noted not to have been fixed, and the contractor was engaged but failed to fix them despite materials being on site. So this is your report that you are telling us. And you are, number one, you signed the DAP acknowledging what the auditor found. And in your statement here, just here, you are saying ceiling was not fitted, but material was on site. So meaning you are confirming that what the auditor found was correct. And you engaged the contractor yourself. This is what you are telling us. And they couldn't fix them. So why are you giving false information before this committee?
Council Secretary.
Yeah, I just to answer
Honorable Pavuma,
as the area speaker indicated, Auditor General wrote that, indicated that the building, by the time they visited, the building was complete. But when you look at our response, we are saying, we are acknowledging the things that were not in place at that particular time. And further, we say the building, under action taken, the building has since been completed. What we are acknowledging in the cause of query is that what the auditor found, yes, was correct, and this was the state at that time. But the ones who came up with the statement that the building was complete, that is Auditor General's statement.
Okay, let us interrogate the project management. By the time the auditor was visiting this particular project, ceiling was not done and other works were not done. Where was the director engineering? The first question that Honorable Pavuma asked. We have competent engineers. What was your role? This project had passed its life. What actions did you take? Why did you entertain this contractor? Those are the questions we want to hear from engineering.
Thank you, Chair. As you can see, the project was awarded on 30th April 2023, which was supposed to end in or complete in 30th July 2023. The contractor wrote an extension of time, or application for an extension of time on 20th July.
During the time of
execution.
When was it supposed to 30th of July? That was the end period of this contract. Then when did the contractor write the letter?
20th July.
10 days before.
Yeah.
Citing
the shortage, shortage of materials. In fact, in Pika at that time, which is our dependable town where we're getting materials. So there were a lot of contractors and a few suppliers.
We are talking about this particular one. Sorry, we're not. We are asking, what was the reason this contractor
shortage of materials?
What materials? When he was about
construction materials.
Which materials? You are the director. You are on site. Give us. Because it says that there was roofing materials, steering materials. We are on site.
No, I'm not at this stage. So I was trying to give the history.
Okay.
Not at this stage.
Okay, so go ahead.
I can go ahead. Then on 5th October, after approving his extension, on 5th October, an instruction was given to him that he should complete the project. In fact, it was for delay to go on site. Then
July, let's move slowly. He wrote on 20th July asking for extension. 31st of July. The letter he wrote, the contractor wrote on 31st. Are we there?
No. I'm saying he wrote on 20th July.
Okay, let's assume 20th July.
Yes.
10 days before the expiry of the contract.
Exactly.
That is appendix what? Let's go to appendix 2A, sir.
So I think
no. Until I tell you to say let's go. Switch off your mic. Don't worry. This is your committee. Let's just engage so that we are clarifying. That is appendix what, Doc? Let's go to 2A. The first letter from Arotech was dated 10th December 2023. Request for extension of completion period. The second letter was dated 31st July 2023. Are you there? Request for extension of completion period proposed period for the proposed project at Tundua Primary School. He wrote on 31st July. So which letter are you reading that is different from ours?
Chair, I think if you may remember during the opening of the session, this is the letter which the principal officer was trying to withdraw.
Now, before you go to that point, this letter signed by Brani Kakobe, Managing Director, dated 31st July. Who wrote it?
This letter was sent by the contractor, but the reasons which were given at that moment were rejected, and we said we cannot accept your application of extension of time based on these reasons. Then he had to do another letter which talked about the shortages of materials which he was talking about at that moment.
So the one he did, the shortage of material, he did it when?
It is the one which I was talking about.
When? Which date?
The 20th of
Sorry, my brother, we know about TCC. You are saying that the 31st you rejected, that you can't extend, because the reasons that he submitted, that was on 30th of July. 31st of July, you rejected this as a council, saying that you can't accept because the reasons were not justified. You can't extend the contract. Then the earlier letter, how did you, the chronological order of the correspondences? 20th July, the same month. Then you said the one you accepted is for which date?
It's supposed to be the same date.
Don't turn this to be a circus. We can send you back and make serious recommendations. You are now joking with this committee. You see, when you do wrong things, this is what is happening. So continuing with you, this is a bad report. If you don't know KANCHIBIYA, this, some of us have not even asked. This is bad. There is no project, proper 2023, no proper project management. You are saying 20th July. There is a letter that you are reading that you wanted to replace this one for 31st. The question is, we are not refusing. The same managing director, he wrote a letter which you furnished us. It's here with us, dated 31st July 2023. Then you said this one, you as a council rejected it. The reasons you rejected it, and the rejection, there is no letter of rejection. You are telling us February. We are evidence-based committee. Then you are saying that you only accepted a letter of 20th July, earlier than 31st. How does it add? How do you, Council Secretary?
Yeah, with your indulgence, Chair, I think that was a mistake on his part. It was supposed to be the same date. It was supposed to be 30th.
Share without the data. You have that data? Is reading from there. Can we have the data? The one you are reading from Brian.
No, it's not here. I'm just reading the history. All my points. It should be with among those which are submitted.
How you are reading a letter dated 20th July? The one he said that he was seeking extension because of challenges of materials in KANCHIBIYA, and he wanted to give us how other constituencies were affected because there were no materials. You have a letter there.
Chair, the letter has been given to you through those submissions.
Let's see the date.
Chair, where is written a history of what happened here, which is wrong.
But it doesn't give wrong history.
It doesn't have the actual letter.
Chair, even if we were to agree with them that because of shortage of material, their submission here is indicating that the contractor could not finish it despite materials being on site on the cause of when you did.
We are just
this is what they have submitted. So why are you submitting things that are contrary to what is written here?
There is a letter here from Arotech dated 20th July 2023. Let me read it. Probably that's a letter that he was reading, and some of you are refusing that there is no letter. Contract for rehabilitation and roofing of a 1x2 classroom semi-standard classroom block at KANCHIBIYA district. I don't know which it doesn't mention. It just says KANCHIBIYA district. When this contractor was contracted to do a particular project, but him writes the project that was given is Tundua Primary School, but his letter didn't just say KANCHIBIYA district. Request for 2-month extension of time due to material shortage. That's what is reading. And now I'm writing to request a 2 months, and it is dated. So this is the same. You manufacture these yourselves on behalf of these contractors. You are not helping us, you people. The same person, how does he write a letter here, which is appendix 2 what? 2A. people have children. Don't do this. You are messing up this country. This letter, same arrow. And there is someone at the council who is forging these signatures. If we take this for forensic, you find that this is not the guy who is signing, or you are making him sign things that he doesn't understand. So how do you have such letters? And the first letter, let me just finish. The one that he wrote on 31st, he even was very specific. Request for extension of completion period for the proposed project at Tundua Primary School. That's what we know. Any contractor who will be writing to a project that has been awarded. This one is just saying a semi-standard classroom block in KANCHIBIYA district. You can say that this is something that you have just made. Mr. Zulu, let's take work serious. You have families, all of you. You cannot be doing this. The government is giving you money to develop this country. Then you are doing wrong things. Why did you do this? Let's move to another question. It's quite.
Before we move to another question, here there is a serious problem. They've submitted that the letter that this contractor wrote on 31st July was rejected. Is that correct? It was rejected. Now,
that's not the directors. You're on record.
Now
we are live.
They've submitted this new letter as evidence. It's on record. It's themselves who have submitted it. So now they rejected the letter at 31st July. They've accepted a letter on 20th July. Before that date. How possible is that?
Let's see. There are other serious councils outside waiting to be. These bring another. Let's move to another question.
They are painting a picture which is not there because of such behavior.
On the same,
Dr. Manza.
They're saying request for extension period for the project construction of Tundua. So council gave extension, 2 months extension. That is based on the letter written by the contractor on the 31st July, or even I can take the 20th July, whichever date. So council gave extension of time for 2 months. Now, 2 months from July, they are saying your new completion date. This letter is on appendix 2B, the first letter, saying your new completion date is now 30th September 2024.
From July 2023. I noted.
And the chair, they were approved, that approval has been made with respect to the letter dated 31st July, which they are saying they rejected. When you see the letter from the council, the approval has been made with that letter. So how do you explain it? Because you rejected that letter and you have submitted that, the one on the 20th.
And you extend for more than 1 year. The contractor is applying for 2 months. You said 2024. Council Secretary Zulu, may we hear from you? What is the wisdom?
Chair, as you have guided that...
We are not guiding, we are asking.
Yes, Chair. I can only render an apology on behalf of ourselves. These dates were jumbled.
Not jumbled. This whole report, we see, we are an organized team. Me, I can suggest that you go back with your report. You are not serious. No, you can't be giving such a report, and you are serious with me as management. Why are you doing this to the people of KANCHIBIYA? Council Secretary. Next question.
Thank you so much. KANCHIBIYA, let's go to page 22. So we go to recovery of loans. Chair, during the time of audit, KANCHIBIYA Town Council had a balance of an amount to be recovered of 618,646 kwacha. Between that time and now, 2025, we have been able to recover a certain amount, leaving a balance of 392,892 kwacha 46 ingwe. Now my question here is, what measures have you put in place for you to be able to recover these amounts of money that are supposed to be also gotten by other beneficiaries that would want to also have this money as a loan? Because this is a revolving fund. When people get this loan, they are expected to be paying back, and it's from those profits or the paybacks that others also should be able to access on top of the other amounts that the government has been giving out. So my question here is, what mechanism have you put in place as a council to be able to recover this money that has not been recovered up to date? Then the next question, Chair, so that we can just try to speed up, because
summarize the questions.
Yes, I summarize. Is on students' loans and bursaries, Chair. Why didn't you do massive sensitization for you to be able to have a higher intake of students in KANCHIBIYA? Is it that most of the people in KANCHIBIYA are very learned, or you just didn't sensitize the people as they expected? I submit, Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair, for those two questions. The first question on the loans, what we are doing is we have engaged certain institutions. We are doing monitoring ourselves and doing reminders to the beneficiaries of these loans. What we have further going to do is we have engaged the traditional leadership, because we understand that their voice carries a lot of weight, and these traditional leaders have been having meetings with their people, and that is how we are able even to recover that amount. And then further, Chair, that the recovered amount was used to give other people, so other people have benefited from the recovered amounts that we have had. Then the low intake, Chair, of students, especially secondary school, is that KANCHIBIYA does not have a boarding secondary school, and parents are a bit apprehensive to take their children to schools which are very far away because of set of logistics, maybe of transport and the upkeep. But what we are doing, we have done massive sensitization, and currently as we speak, there are 2 boarding schools being constructed in KANCHIBIYA, and we hope that by the time those are done, we'll have a higher intake of these components. Thank you, Chair.
Can you go to page 5? Construction of a 1x2 classroom block at Mulonga Primary School. This contract was given to Protec Construction and General Dealers on September 4th, 2023. Total amount of contract sum of 680.31 kwacha for a period of 3 months commencing 7th September 2023 ending December 2023. The scope of works, of course, is guided as at 31st December 2023. The contractor had been paid amounts totaling 275,638, leaving a balance of 404,393. Are we moving together? A physical inspection carried out in July 2024 from 2023 December revealed that the structure had not been completed 6 months after the expected completion date. The following works were outstanding. Of course, those are those were the scope that was not done. The question is, why didn't you charge liquidated damages on this Mlonga. Now, before you answer, I want to take you to the table on page 7, honorable members, of a number of contracts where the council, the contracts were not performing, some were terminated, but the council neglected to charge liquidated damages. And on page 7, the query is the failure to charge liquidated damages. As at 31st December 2023, 4 projects that were in progress and exceeded the agreed contractual period according to section 17 of the standard contracts, liquidated damages were to be charged for delayed works at 5% per week of the contract sum. In this regard, liquidated damages in amounts totaling 98,408 kwacha were due in respect of the projects. However, as at July 2024, the council had not charged liquidated damages, and the contracts are as follows. Dormitory at Copper Day Secondary School. That delay, Copper Day Secondary School, no liquidated damages to the tune of 26,142. Classroom block at Mulonga, the one I've just read, the liquidated damages, the amount was 54,402. Construction of maternity wing at Kankala, 17,863, total 98,408. Why did the council fail to charge liquidated damages?
Thank you so much, Chair. In our response, Chair, we indicated that these contracts had extensions of time, and that's why we could not go ahead to charge liquidated damages, because they had applied for extensions of time.
The question is, when the auditors were exiting or were engaging you, why didn't you show these copies of the extension of times?
Yeah, I can confidently confirm that we availed this information to the auditors, but even when they went in the field, they did not drop the queries. These documents were available to you.
You are now accusing the auditors.
No, Chair, I'm not accusing the auditors. I'm saying we give even...
Of course, they couldn't rely if you have letters like this, which are written by yourselves on behalf of the contractors. How do they drop when you have letters and you manufacture them? After that, then you come here to say the auditors did not drop the queries. Council Secretary, we have councils. Even now, some of them are still coming. Watch the way they are doing. Look at their reports. They are doing very well in terms of implementation of CDF. If we read through this, it's a bad report, my brother. The whole report, all this on page 17, 18, from page 8. And for my report, from page 8, there's no another paper up to 17. You went through these reports. After page 8 here, it jumps to page 17. So, this poor management of projects, you can't tell me that the auditors refused when you were there. And probably you were not the person who was present. But you come here, you want now to accuse the auditors. Honorable Pavuma.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, throughout our interaction, I've noticed your witness is giving responses contrary to what they've submitted. In responding to your question, you just said they did not charge the damages because these contractors had asked for extension. Let me take the committee, page 6, on the management response cause of query. Management acknowledges the observation of the auditor and wishes to state that the outstanding works were the result of the contractor deserting the project because of difficulties in accessing the project site during the rainy season arising from floods. The contractor proposed termination of its contract, and they've exhibited that on 3A. This is not an extension. the contractor proposed termination.
Okay.
As we wind up. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. I think there are two queries which are being asked with regard to this project. The other one is for liquidated damages. Then the other one is not completing in time. So I think the Honorable is trying to combine the two. So for the...
You did not
hold on, Honorable, let him complete. Let him finish.
For incompletion of the project in time, that's where this management report which talks about the contractor could not finish in time because of not accessing the project difficulties in accessing the project. Then thereafter, after pushing too much, that's why now the Honorable was reading about his proposal or notice of termination because he could not complete the project. Then the other query is to do with liquidated damage. At the time the auditors came on site, it was found that the same contractor had written or had applied an extension of time period. That's why now there's this query where they're saying, why didn't you charge him liquidated damage?
Do you have the planner here? There was a question on sensitization. How much sensitization are you doing on the loans and the grants?
Chair, in the period under review, we carried out 2 mass sensitizations.
Did they work?
Yes, they have beared fruits.
You saw
yes, they
change?
They change. A lot of people have now
applied,
of course.
Okay, honorable members, last one. I'm giving you last one. We have no time.
Appendix 2.5 and spent fund, the administrative cost chair. Here, Chair, KANCHIBIYA Town Council are telling us that they spent 100% of the administrative component, meaning there was proper monitoring of projects by them. But now, when you look at their projects throughout, they've got cracked walls, cracked wall fence, cracked trading stands, poor quality window peg. Everything was broken. Also failure to charge the damages. So, KANCHIBIYA Town Council, you are telling us that you spent the administrative cost just inspecting the cracking walls. And if truly you were there present, you would have noticed, because for a wall to crack, trading stands to crack, meaning maybe the material was defective, maybe the sand, the quality of stones was defective. So what were you inspecting? With your engineers, what were you inspecting if things were cracking? Even the mixture, if you are inspecting, things would not have been cracked. So what were you inspecting? Because the outcome of the projects are indicating that you never inspected anything. How did you use this money? And also demonstrate to this committee how with such kind of behavior, there's a fair attitude, how CDF in KANCHIBIYA constituency will be a game changer. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Chair. The administrative component, Chair, which is being queried, is that from 2022 administrative component, we did not exhaust it. We had left a balance of 600. Bringing it to 2023, that's why it showed a negative there, because we had brought forward some funds from 2022. We did not exhaust them, and they were spent in 2023. And on the Honorable's question, we are trying by all means to inspect these projects, and out of the 19 projects that we are doing, 14 of them were complete, and now as we speak, 18 of them are complete, only one is outstanding. KANCHIBIYA is one of the very vast and difficult rain, the terrain is very difficult. Most of it is flooded for half of the year. So we are trying by all means to implement CDF as per CDF guidelines. Thank you, Chair.
They know the terrain. So if you know the terrain, you plan according to the terrain. You see, it's quite disappointing, my brother, to tell you, in terms of project monitoring, I didn't expect this. And you see, if you look at your report, give it to any person, even in the streets, give it, say, what is your say over our report on CDF? And this issue of saying the project has now been completed, whom are you telling that a project for 2022 is being completed now? When the president speaks or says something, it is a policy for all of us. He is the leader of the nation, guiding government policy. Can you do this? Can you spend within the reasonable period? And you yourselves are the ones who say this project is for 3 months, this project for 4 months. But it takes 2 years, and you come here proudly to say it is now complete, because this is 2025. You're not being honest to yourselves. Poor project management. The quality of the works has nothing to do with the vastness of the area. Those few projects which are identified and being executed, they should be properly done. The president has said, right price, at the right time, and the quality work. But you're not doing that. And you are even saying a contractor is failing. You know, you are even writing these letters. You are a disappointment. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing this. And where is your conscience? You sit, you start fabricating, making stories. In some other countries, you can be arrested for this, what you are doing. But this is your country. Let us portray the correct picture there. What speaks for us is what is obtaining on the ground. And the danger or the beauty is that the commission will just say, we're not happy there. They will just move you to another council. Here, you have done this. If we start firing you people for these things, not for anything else, for these things that you are doing, then others will learn to do the correct thing. These are the things you are fabricating, you're coming here to write. You write minutes, you know, want to withdraw. You just fabricate them, you sit there. You make minutes on behalf of the CDF committee. Mixing the dates. No, we are mixing the dates. That is the fashion. We sincerely apologize. We withdraw that. Then we are wasting public resources. If this is how you are defined, the works that you put in, then you can tell yourselves, we are not going to fail ourselves. Council Secretary Zulu, as we are making serious recommendations, for the first time we are here, this committee has vowed, we are going to be fair to all of you, but to state the facts, so that we can bring this to it. There is one council spending on stationery. As you come, these things that you are making, these letters on behalf of contractors. The other day we had the council on Friday around 20 hours. Writing, why is it that contractors, you write to them, they don't reply? It's not true. You don't serve them these letters. Now we shall be doing every council that appears, we even bring the contractors. Anything to measure that contract, you will see the anarchy that will be there. Stop what you are doing. Where are the work ethics? Where is the fear for public resources? So as you go back, know this. As we are going to tell the commission, we are going to tell the ministry, some other councils are doing very, very well. And you can watch them, they are doing very well. Some of you will be moved from one council, anarchy, to another council, anarchy. You are not. and you are lucky. But one day, and the order is returning to this country, you should be doing the correct things. So as I withdraw the immunity, I would like to wish you well as you go back to KANCHIBIYA. Project management is zero. If there's anything, ask for a proper engineer. Ask for that, and we shall tell the commission that engineering department in KANCHIBIYA, it needs overhaul. You can't take this report. Anyone you show, we don't fabricate these things as we read what is obtaining. So, those are my words. Immunity withdrawn, safe passage. Thank you very much.
Thank you for still being with us here on Parliament Television. That's a KANCHIBIYA, Town Council making an appearance before the Committee on Local Government Accounts as the committee continues to consider the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And KANCHIBIYA Town Council was flanked by the Council Secretary, that's Mr. Joseph Zulu. So still to come are two more witnesses, and we'll call it a day. We're standing by for Isoka Town Council, and it's going to be followed by Mafinga Town Council. So do stay tuned right here on Parliament Television.